This is only a review.
I'll be taking a look at the Sony DSC TX10 point-and-shoot camera, and this is not my full review. I do have one on my channel. The link is in the description, or you can go to my channel to check that video out. This video is going to be like the features of the camera and like how the touchscreen works and everything. So I'll go ahead and boot the camera on. It's telling me to slide down the cover to shoot because I don't have the lens slid down. And the black area would actually be where you could see the lens and see where they take the pictures, but I don't have the lens slid down, so it just says slide down lens cover to shoot. It does warn you, however, to tell you that the lens cover is closed, so you don't accidentally try to take a picture and forget. This is the main interface of the camera where you take most of the pictures and videos. On this menu, and I do apologize for the quality of the picture, I really do apologize. Anyway, it got menu, your flash, you can change the flash to auto, or you can just turn it off. You got your shooting mode, of course. You could do in MP4 format, you could do 1080, 720 in VGA. Sometimes the touchscreen is a little sensitive, but it's not bad. Anyway, then and then on photos, on stills, you got 16 megapixel, 10 megapixel, 5 megapixel, VGA, 16:9 and 16:9. So you got 2 megapixel, 12 megapixel, VGA, 5 megapixel, 10 megapixel, and 16 megapixel. And then of course at the bottom of the screen you got a little question mark. That's like an onboard helping guide. I mean, it doesn't got everything, but it does help you out with general stuff if you're a beginner. Like I'll just go to icon guide. Like if you click on something right here, it'll just tell you about it. This is a little onboard guide. I mean, there's not much to it. But if you're a beginner, I don't know what stuff is, you can go to the onboard built-in guide. It does got its own like a little built-in manual. You got your of course you got your battery indicator. You got your battery indicator right there. I don't know if you can see it, but you do got your battery indicator. It does show a memory card, which means you're using memory cards. You're not using the internal memory, and it does tell you what folder you're shooting in. And it, of course, on mine it says 100. I'm using a folder 100. I do really apologize for the quality of this video. I'm really sorry if you can't see the screen. Anyway, that says 4.3. I'm shooting at 16 megapixel, and 16 megapixel I could shoot 2,357 pictures. I do got mode, and then you got your playback button, of course. And I did not mean to go into the playback mode. Anyway, I'll go into mode now and show you what's in the modes. You got your intelligent auto, superior auto, panorama shooting modes, you got your movie modes, you got your program auto, you got your background defocus, you got your scene selection, you got your 3D shooting. These two, when you click on intelligent auto and superior auto, there's nothing in those menus. It just goes back to the regular screen where you shoot. Those are just intelligent autos, like basically it'll do everything for you. You click those two. In panorama shooting, you got eye sweep panorama, and you got underwater sweep panorama. This is an underwater camera. And when you click movie mode, you just got a regular movie mode. It just goes to movie mode, but you really don't need to click on the movie mode button right there because you got of course, you got a dedicated movie button. Then you got your program auto, which is basically I think it's basically yeah, it's basically manually shooting. Program auto means that you're in manual shooting. It doesn't got a lot of manual shooting features on here, but it does got some. Like you can change the ISO from auto all the way up to 32, but it's highly recommended not to use a 3200 ISO anyway. Then you got your white balance. You can change white balance, like auto, daylight, cloudy, fluorescent white balance 2, one push, flash, incent and stuff. And then for a program auto, then you got focus, of course. You can do some focusing stuff, but it's not all manual, like I said. Then you got change metering settings. I'm really not sure what that means, but you got them there. Then, of course, one other thing on manual, you got you can change the exposure from all the way from 0 to plus 2, 2.0, and then negative 2.0. You can change it. See. Then go back to modes. Of course, you got background defocus, which means that on background defocus means that like it'll do the work for you. Basically, it'll make the background blurry while it makes the subject in focus. Like if you want to take a picture of a person and then you want to make it the background blurry, basically you can make the background totally blurry, make the person in front or the object in front not blurry. It does the work for you basically. You don't have to do the work for yourself. If you don't know like depth of field and stuff, it does it for you. That's what background defocus does. Then you got your scene selection modes right here. You got soft skin, soft snap, anti-motion blur, landscape, backlight correction, HDR, twilight portrait, twilight handheld, twilight high sensitivity, gourmet, pet, beach, snow, fireworks, underwater, high speed. And if you don't know what none of these modes are, they've also included a onboard help thing right here. You click on the little question mark at the top. It's highlighted, and then you click on one, and it'll tell you like what it does. Like underwater, it says suit underwater in natural colors with housing. Change to the setting. If you press cancel, of course, it won't go to that setting. But it does go onboard help if you don't know what modes do what basically. Then you got your 3D shooting. You got you could shoot 3D pictures basically. You just change it to 3D basically. And then in the menu itself, you got easy mode. Basically, when you click on easy mode and click OK, basically it makes everything on the camera really big, but it takes away some of the features. You can't use like none of the features of the camera. But like if you're an old person or if you're a person that doesn't know how to use cameras, it makes everything big on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but everything is super big. The battery indicator is really big. Remaining shots is big. Everything's big on the screen. So like I said, everything's really big. But you can't use none of the features of the camera. It like eliminates them, so you won't accidentally mess up. You got and then you got your burst settings. I forgot to mention in my reviews, it does do burst. Like it'll take 10 frames in 1 second. Basically, it's good only if you take like sports or really fast moving objects. You could shoot it in high or low, or you don't have to use it at all. Then you got your macro. You could do auto or close focus if you want it to automatically change the macro when you put something close to the lens. You could have it in auto, or you could do it manually, which means that it'll be in a macro when you click close automatically. And you got your exposure, ISO, white balance, focus, metering mode, shutter. The EV, the ISO, the white balance, and the focus and the metering mode only come up when you're in a manual, and this is basically manual. I forgot to actually switch it, so those don't come up if you're just in regular shooting, like if you're in auto modes. Then you got your smile shutter. It'll detect faces basically, and then when someone smiles, it'll take the picture. Then you got your face detection. It'll put boxes around your face and focus on people's faces. Then you got your movie size. I'm in a 1080. Then going farther into the menu, you got movie format. You can change the movie format of this from AVC HD to MP4 format. I'm in MP4 format. It got AV Eliminator. It fills light for focusing in low light. I guess it helps it out in low light. You got your grid line. I'm not sure what that does. You might put a grid on the screen so you could line up your shot basically. Then you got your digital zoom. I would highly recommend just turning it off, but if you got digital zoom, if you want to go farther than like 4, you could turn that off if you want to. You got wind noise reduction. It's supposed to help out in noisy situations when there's a lot of wind outside. If you're taking outside shots and it's really windy, it like keeps it from the wind from getting in your movie, but I actually haven't tested it. Then you got your scene recognition guide. Then you got your red eye reduction. It'll try to take out red eye from your subjects. Then you got your blink alert. Basically, it'll tell you when someone blinks in the picture and you can retake the picture. Then you got your write date on the picture. Basically, it'll like write the date on the picture itself if you want the date and time when you took the picture on the picture. Then you got your beep. That's what you hear now, the little beeping sound. You can turn it off or on. Then you got your brightness. Excuse me. Then you got your brightness. You can change the brightness of this camera. I mean, since it only got a screen, it only got a screen basically. You can change the brightness of it. So if you're outside in really bright situations, you can try to brighten it up so you can get the good so you can see the screen basically. And then you got language settings. You got English, France, Espanol, Italian basically. Display color, that's the color in the background. The background of mine is black, but you can change it, see, to like white or pink if you want to. I'll just go to white because I think it shows better on this camera, or yeah, it might show better. Anyway, I'll continue on with the review. You got CTR for HDMI. You could set it if you want to automatically recognize the HDMI port. You got your housing, your USB connection. You could set it different, like MTM mass storage. You also got Lun settings. Download music. You can download music, but you can't actually play it. Only thing it does is for the slideshow. It does got a built-in slideshow on this camera, and you can download your own music for it. Or you can delete the music you got on here if you don't want to use it. You just got transfer jet. This is only for, I think this is only for Sony cameras. Basically, you tap like 2 Sony cameras together, or use a little dock thing, and it'll let you transfer your pictures automatically. And then of course you got your power save, stamina, standard or off if you want to save battery. And then you can create photos like on the fly, like I said. It'll ask you, and it'll show you what photo you make. I'm making 101 since I already have a 100, and it automatically names them for you, and you can't change the names or anything. It's just numbers anyway. But like I said, it's good for if you're like taking family videos or on a vacation. You want to put vacation photos in one folder, then you want to put like vlogs in another folder, or if you want to put like flowers or beach photos in another folder, you can. That's pretty nice. Of course, you can format the chip right from the camera. You can change the record folder, but like I said, you still can't name them. Then you can copy stuff. You can copy stuff on the memory card to like just duplicate it, basically. Then you got area settings, home. It tells you like what place you're from and stuff. You can change the date and time, and it does tell you the time right here, 12:48, 14 p.m. So basically you just use that as a little clock. And now I'm gonna go into before I go into the play menu, you can customize your own menu. Like I told you, here's the part. These 4 things are what I already have on my home screen right now. But like I said, you can change them. I'll go ahead and show you. I'll just change the question mark to the smiley face. See, now when I go back to the main menu, now when I go back to the main menu of the camera, I could actually change it. See, now it has a smiley face instead of a question mark. But I'll just go ahead and change that back to normal. If I could find it. You can only change the left side of the screen though. You can't change anything on the right. That's already preset and you can't change it. Anyway, and it does tell you when it does tell you if your flash is off, basically, which is pretty good. And then of course here's a playback menu. Here's some pictures I've taken with Sony DSC TX10. Here's some of the pictures I've taken. They're pretty crisp and clear, as you can see on the menu. Then of course you got your traditional, on the T series you got your traditional your calendar. It does show you what date and days you took the pictures, like February 2nd, 2012. I took 4 photos and stuff. But basically, if there's like more than one photo and video on one day, it'll put them all to the side, and there they are. Nice. It does got a calendar. There's a photo I took, and it looks pretty nice. And of course, the bottom screen, you can change the audio. You can delete the photo, or you can go to this little timeline thing. Instead of the calendar, you can use the timeline. It's basically the same little thing, I guess. You just group them in little things, and you know what day you took the pictures. And as I said, the quality of the screen is an OLED, not OLED, excuse me, it is a high resolution. Sorry if I said OLED, I didn't mean to. But here's a sample video I've taken with the DSC TX10. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the screen is really bright and crisp. Out of all the, I'm not comparing it to any other cameras, but I'm comparing it to the rugged cameras. Out of the rugged cameras, like Nikon and Panasonic, this does got one of the best touchscreen resolution, high resolution screens. Out of the rugged cameras, I would recommend this. This does got one of the best resolution screens out of the rugged cameras. This is that high resolution screen, which is nice, bringing back photos on the actual device itself. It is really crisp and clear. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There's just a little snow video I took. Then of course you got a menu, and it tells you that you're still using the card. Then those two mean you can switch from different videos and photos. Let you switch. Then 1.4, it's telling me that this video was recorded in AVCHD format. Then of course you got your battery indicator, and there's your camera button, which means you can go back to the main shooting mode instead of playback mode, which is nice. And I will show you some of the cool features of this. Here's one of the cool features of the Sony DSC TX10. I'll go ahead and show you. This is the 10. This photo is 10 frames per second. And then you could basically tilt the camera. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but if you tilt the camera, you can see the water drops falling, which is pretty nice. I'm pretty sure you can only do it on the camera itself. You can't do it on the computer, of course, or anything. But if you do take 10 frames per second on the camera itself, you can do this little cool feature. See, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the water drops are falling. This is 10 frames per second. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'll go ahead and end that. There's a picture I took in, which is pretty nice. And then here's the sweep panorama mode, of course. Since it wasn't a flat picture, it looks kind of like a fisheye effect, but it's not really a fisheye effect. Just that it wasn't a straight thing. It was more like a curve, because I had to take it curved. But here it is. It takes one long picture. You just go from left. You just go from like left to right and sweep it, and it'll take the whole picture. There it is. And if you play it back, it'll show you the whole picture. That's one long picture. Basically, it stitches it for you. It's good for like taking a picture of the Grand Canyon or something like a landscape picture. It's not really good for indoor usage or like this, because this thing ain't really long and it ain't really good for taking it. That's why it looks kind of bowed. But there it is. And then another picture on here. This is kind of like a 3D picture, but I can't actually view it because I don't got 3D TV, but it is 3D. They do got this cool thing called Sweep Panorama 3D, basically. It is a 3D picture, but you can view back on the screen, but it's a little gimmicky. I'll show you in a second. It does take a little bit to load up. Then when you tilt the camera from left to right, you can kind of like, you're supposed to like kind of see it like in 3D, like the picture's popping out. If you tilt it back and forth, it is a little gimmicky, but it's supposed to work. I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's supposed to look like everything in the picture is popping out at you, but you do have to tilt the camera. It is a little gimmicky, I will have to say. And yeah, that's pretty much it for features and videos. Cool effects. On the menu, on the playback mode, you got easy mode, of course. You got image index. You can make it your little slideshow. You can paint. You could do a 3D view, but you will have to have a 3D TV. It'll ask you to plug it into a 3D TV. You got your view mode, display group. You can protect the picture so no one can delete them by accident. You got your DPOF, exposure data, in-camera guide. I'll go ahead and show you some features, some cool features, I guess. I'll just go ahead and show you one here. Like you can draw on the screen, but it's not really nothing special. It's a little gimmicky, honestly. Then you can go ahead and just like add a little stamp and stuff. I don't know if you can see it on screen, but you can add little stamps. You can like draw on the screen, and you can change the size of the pencil and stuff, which is really nice. And different colors, of course. I don't know if it's, yeah, I don't know if I can make it big. Yeah, I can make it bigger. I'll show you. See, you can draw on the picture, and you can save a duplicate of this. Don't worry if you accidentally like screw up, or if you save it by accident and you think that it'll erase your first picture. No, it'll keep the original picture. It'll just make a duplicate with the stamps and drawings on it. It won't delete the original pictures. You don't have to worry. See, you could exit without saving, and then if you save it, it'll ask for another duplicate. But the duplicate picture isn't actually in the same resolution as you took this. Like, say this picture is 16.2 megapixels, it'll make the duplicate picture only like 5 megapixels or 8 megapixels. But it's still nice. I'll just do a little video of me talking. I'll show you how the microphones works on that one video. The snow video, there wasn't really much talking, so I'll go ahead and talk.
So this is the bathroom at Dylan's grocery store, and here's what it looks like. It's pretty clean.
The microphone on here ain't that really loud, but it's better than nothing. It is better than the Blocky Touch's one. But it's not that loud, just to let you guys know. But it is louder than some of them. Like the Blocky Touch was pretty low. This one got a fairly loud microphone, but not the loudest, of course. And that's pretty much all for the features of the Sony DSC TX10 point-and-shoot camera. I hope you enjoyed this little video of the features and the touchscreen. This isn't my full review. If you want, like I said, if you want to see my full review, the link will be in the description, or you could check out my channel. I do have the full review of the Sony DSC point-and-shoot camera. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little feature video of the Sony DSC TX10 point-and-shoot camera.